Say you're in charge of the training for a bunch of people in your organization. They all have different responsibilities and training needs. But keeping on top of it can require a lot of time and effort, and before long, you'll need a system to track people's competency requirements and their completion status. Lots of people end up tracking this information in a spreadsheet, but that quickly becomes a full-time job. You'll spend a lot of time registering employees for training and then following up with people to make sure they've completed their required competencies for their position. You'll also need to produce detailed records for safety audits. You may also want a system to offer online training and exams. You could try a learning management system, or LMS for short. LMSs are great because they allow you to use online SCORM modules, which is an industry-standard way of packaging online training material so that it can be used in most LMS systems. An LMS tracks learners and the courses they take. It's pretty simple and it works great for schools, but it doesn't do a good job of managing the resulting competency data of employees, so you'll need to track that information yourself. Then you're back to using a spreadsheet. We think we've got a better way. Right on Track is a competency tracking system that also does online training. Right on Track is different because it adds some additional concepts into the mix. Let's start with competencies. A competency is a certification a worker needs to have in order to perform his or her duties, and it is acquired by completing training. That training can be anything from reading a manual or watching a video to scheduled classroom training or even an online SCORM course. Acquired competencies can have expiration dates, at which point the worker will need to retake the training. We could have simply set up the competency requirements on a per-worker basis, but we can do better than that. We can quickly manage what competencies people need by using the concept of positions. You can think of a position as a reusable bundle of competencies. If a worker is given a position, then we know what competencies they need to complete in order to be able to perform the duties associated with that role in the organization. Position assignments are effective dated too, so Right on Track knows when a position starts and when it ends. So how does this all work? Meet Jack. Jack works for Acme Utilities Corp, and he has the positions Water Treatment Operator and Acme Employee. He has a lot of competencies that he needs to complete, but he gets periodic updates from Right on Track letting him know the status of his required competencies and what he needs to brush up on. When needed, he can go online to complete training and get information about upcoming events that he's scheduled to attend. Good news! In 6 months, the shift team lead is retiring, so Jack is getting promoted. In Right on Track, this means his water treatment operator position is effective dated to end in 6 months, and a new position of shift team lead is added with an effective date starting in 6 months. Right on Track is smart enough to know that Jack will no longer need to take training for those competencies that were required for his old position, but expire a month after he leaves that role. Instead, there will be new competencies that Jack will see on his competency list that are associated with the shift team lead position, and they will increase in urgency as the start date for Jack's new role approaches. Jack's manager, Linda, receives weekly notification emails showing which competencies are complete or expiring for her team. This allows her to see Jack's progress as he completes the training required for his new role. 6 months later, Jack is prepared for his new position. Keep on top of your training with an industry-friendly, SCORM-compliant, position-based competency tracking system. For more information, visit www.rightontrack.ca.